State Waste Management Authority, LOMA, is looking for somebody. Like they're really looking for this person. LOMA has launched a manhunt for a motorist who threw waste from their car this morning, today. So here is the thing, right? Here is the gist. In a statement via X that's formerly called Twitter, today an incident occurred where a motorist, a driver of a particular vehicle along Ikeja, was driving along the road and threw waste from the window of their car. So this person was driving and probably maybe the person drank pure water, or the person drank bottled water, the person ate biscuits and thought, okay, the best thing to do is I don't want to keep this in my car. And the best option for me is to just throw this waste out. This happened apparently at Adeni Jones, according to Loma, and they are really looking for this person. Loma says it has also alerted the sister agency, that's the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency, LASMA, to flag this motorist down because they have the color of the car, the make of the car, and the number plate of the car. And they're saying, look, we have told LASMA to flag down this person if seen anywhere in the metropolis. Now, we have talked about this. We've talked about it on radio. We talk about it amongst ourselves, talk about it with our friends more than once. Proper waste disposal is essential. There is something that happens. It rained last night in most parts of Lagos. You know, it was even raining. It was raining earlier today, and you will realize that there are so many areas you will go to, and the gutters are not flowing properly as they should. Then sometime during the dry season or when the rainy season is approaching, the people of the community or people of the area will now engage people who will dig out these gutters. And when they do, the amount of waste you see in that gutter should definitely not be there. The waterways are there for our own good. One reason why flood is rampant in many areas that have good drainage system is because people insist on throwing their waste insist on disposing their waste indiscriminately, and that is so sad because at the end of the day we are endangering our own selves. So where the waste is supposed to go, it's blocked. It will not go, you know, and that's the reason why you see people putting all of this kind of metal bars in their gutters so that the waste is packed at one end of it and it can be cleaned. Please, Lagosians, Nigerians, and you know, all of you hearing me from outside Lagos and every other country, please always make sure you dispose your waste properly, okay? And it might seem funny, but this person is probably going to get fined for this issue. And this thing is not something that just started today. You've probably been doing it before now. I would say, if you are the one, it will be so much better for you to just, you know, report to their office rather than let them flag you down and, you know, you might be embarrassed. Okay. But please, proper waste disposal is essential so that we do not block our gutters and waterways that are supposed to, you know, carry rainwater when it rains. All right. So let's go on to the matter for today. Before we do that, I'm expecting CP Chuks to join me anytime soon. But yes, he's not in the studios yet. But while we wait for him, let's talk. You and I, let's talk about these matters that impact our daily existence. Let's talk about the economic matters as they are right now. Inflation is at 26.72%, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, that is NBS. You know, that's the figure for September this year. I guess by the end of this month, we will know what the figure is for October this year. But yes, 26.72% inflation. Now, if you don't know, inflation is the rate at which price rises. Now, you can relate this to what it was before and what it is now. And one person or one, you know, party that's spotlighting this issue of inflation is the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. The PDP has accused the presidency, they've accused the APC, have accused President Bola Tinubu of pushing Nigerians into extreme poverty. PDP says, look, APC, you are the reason why Nigerians are so poor. You're the reason why Nigerians cannot feed. You're the reason why they're finding it difficult to get food. You're the reason why everything is so expensive. And then they say, Nigerians, don't despair. help is coming. Now, this was said by the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Deepen Ologunagba. He said that the PDP, is not surprised at the reports of 26.72% inflation. That is APC's legacy. According to Deepen Ologunagba, he says this is the legacy that the APC is leaving behind. I'm quoting him verbatim right now. But then the PDP urged Nigerians not to despair, saying help is coming. He further said, and I quote, "We are confident that the Supreme Court, which is the last hope of the common man, will do justice and return our stolen mandate for our dear nation to return to the path of growth and the prosperity." And this is the PDP saying, don't worry, Supreme Court will return our mandate. And then we will now show APC how to govern. We will show APC that this is not how you govern a country that you claim to love. Now, here was something else that Ologunagba said. He said, "I want Nigerians to note that when the PDP was in power, the economy was better managed. Inflation was within single digits. That is, it was between 1 to 9%. Inflation did not enter 10%. It was just within single digits. It no pass like that. That the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar was around 180 naira to $1. But today, anywhere naira see dollar, it will bow. Anywhere naira see dollar, it will say, hello, boss. I'm loyal, boss." Say today, right now, under this government, anywhere naira sees dollar, naira will continue hailing dollar. In fact, naira will lie down like this. Dollar will now walk all over it and pass. And he's saying this is the legacy of the APC, that naira is the worst performing currency in the world, exchanging at over 1,000 naira to $1. The PDP National Publicity Secretary Deepen Ologunagba also went and said that a 50 kg bag of rice under different PDP governments sold for not more than 8,000 naira per bag. But that even now you struggle to get that same bag of rice for 50,000 naira at a time when minimum wage is still just 30,000 naira. Even though the presidency has promised to do something about this, and we're expecting cash transfer to 15 million households. We're expecting 35,000 naira for workers for the next 6 months. Money has been borrowed from the World Bank. We are expecting that it will be used judiciously. The federal government has gotten over 1.5 billion naira for fresh World Bank loan. And we're expecting that this will be used for the good of Nigerians. But PDP says, no. Once the Supreme Court returns our mandate, we will show APC how government is done. Now, to you listening out there, here is the question, in all of this. The question is, before I ask the question, earlier today on the World News at 12, I had Mr. Akin Fatunke who was speaking, and he said, if any of the three popular candidates in these year's general elections had won, apart from President Bola Tinubu, if it was Atiku Abubakar that was on the seat of the presidency, if it was Peter Obi of the Labour Party that was on the seat of the presidency, that two things, people will still have complaints and they will still make policies that would make the people feel like this government is not doing well. But then the PDP has said, look, our style is different. We do things differently over here. And they say, Nigerians, don't despair. Help is coming. Do you believe that if he was Atiku Abubakar on that seat today, that he would have done better? Because there is something that almost all the presidential candidates agreed on, and that was the removal of fuel subsidy, which many people think was the beginning of our woes. And many critics have said, look, you don't remove subsidy just like that now. You don't remove it just like that. You have to put some mechanisms in place to make life easier for the people. Anyway, the phone lines are open. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon. Are you there? Good afternoon. Welcome to Matters. Hello there. Okay. You're my first caller for the day. All right. Give me a call back. I definitely want to hear from you. Good afternoon and welcome to Matters. Are you there? Good afternoon. Okay, do give me a call back. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. It's the number to call to be a part of the conversation this afternoon. You are now tuned in to Matters right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent, and we will be having this conversation up until 3 p.m. By my clock, 22 minutes is sitting down comfortably on 1 p.m.'s head. Okay, yes, we'll be doing this, like I said, up until 3 p.m. Let us have this conversation. These are the matters that these are the matters, that we have going on right now in our polity. Inflation is at 26.72%, but PDP says Nigerians don't despair, help is coming. Hello there. Hello there. Okay, give me a call back. I do not know what is wrong with our network today, but I'm not happy about it. Okay, but I definitely want to hear from you. Keep trying and you'll get through. Good afternoon. Welcome to Matters.
Good afternoon, my sister. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? What's your name and your location, please?
This is John Legend calling from Mushin.
John Legend, all the way from Mushin. Thank you so much for calling. Let's have your opinion on today's matters.
Good. My opinion is this, and it is my own personal opinion. Because in this government, I am not seeing anything that will come out of it. Let anyone take it or let that person leave it. Because these people have spent 100 days or more than 100 days in office. I have never seen one single project. If it's not from court case, we are talking of file. If it's not from file, we are talking of one or other. Talking of one thing. Today is 130 million SUVs. Every month, every week, they will bring out, they will sketch out a new thing that we will be discussing about for one good month, and nothing will happen. I have not seen any good road, not seen anything that this is 100 naira today, tomorrow it is 70 naira. Everything is going high every day. And they said we should tighten up our belt, and we have tightened up the belt. So the belt doesn't have any place to tighten again. Because you cannot tell me that the president of Nigeria, his son, can use a presidential jet to travel. Where does you see it happen? Every nonsense is happening in this country. Can America try that?
Take it easy.
Can the son of Joe Biden try that? That our presidential jet, his son will take it for his own personal use.
But here is the thing, John Legend.
About it.
John Legend, PDP says Nigerians should not despair. That the help is coming. That once they reclaim their mandate at the Supreme Court, we will see things will be better.
Yesterday program, in this your program, yesterday evening program from this lady, this 6 o'clock program, I know how many people that are crying, said they are hungry. They only have 15 naira to eat. I overheard one lady crying that she only have 15 naira to eat. What kind of, there are sometimes we try to control our anger. When somebody is telling me that I should tighten up my belt, and he is eating my money, the tax money, Nigeria money, the crude oil money we have in this country, and we don't have a single road. For how many days now we don't have light? The little business we are doing with this we cannot buy for even the gas now. I have turned my gen to gas. Even the gas now is not cheap. And you are telling John Legend that I should tighten up my belt, and you are spending my money. Where do you think these people think that we are fools?
Okay,
we are not fools now.
John Legend, you spoke about you spoke about this administration having spent a little over 100 days in office, right? You cannot equate that with the 8 years before, knowing that they built on something.
This government cannot do, and listen, this government, APC government, can never, if it is other political reason now, they will be shouting and making a hell of noise. Making noise. It was not Tinubu that was shouting and crying when Jonathan was in power. So was he not that said that he 1 year one refinery?
So what about PDP's promise now? This promise that PDP has made.
Tinubu have taken over. What?
This promise that PDP is making right now to you, you don't like it?
I am telling you that PDP is better than, is 100% better than APC.
So you think if it's Atiku that is on that seat, he won't be like this?
Well, the only thing that will make it be like this, that number one, if the same criminals that left for PDP and jump inside PDP again, only what Peter Obi said, that he will remove the cost of governance. He will reduce it. That is why they don't want him to be a leader. That's why they want him to be a president, because he will all this flamboyant this thing they are taking.
All
he will
right,
flash it
John
out.
Legend. All
because
right, John Legend.
If A did not thief, B will not thief.
Do you really
understand?
think so?
So if A did not steal, because if the man that has called himself a president right now go through the due process, the way we plan this election, he could have a say over these senators. Because the reason why he cannot have a say, because he know that any little thing he did, they will impeach him, because they know how he entered that president. That is why he don't have a mouth. You understand? That is why they will that money that they want to use for that SUV. Can they use it for the final? Can they use it for all this road now? Everywhere you go in this Nigeria, there is no good road. Can they use it for another 10? Okay, you give a whole street, a half bag of rice as a palliative.
But you know that those SUVs, wait now, John Legend, you know that those SUVs, they say they need it in order to be able to enter some kind of road, to reach their constituency, no matter how far inside village it is.
Have you seen your own senator before? Have you passed your street?
You know that now that they have SUV, wait now that they have this SUV and they can enter the remote areas, no matter how bad the road, maybe we'll see them soon.
What were the last one? What kind of car did they drive last time? The last senators. Where is those cars?
All right, John Legend, I'm going to have to let you go so that we can hear from others as well, all right?
No. I am asking you one question now. The last people that were there, which type of car did they drive? Did they drive a Volkswagen? Is it not the same SUV? I am asking you a question. Just answer me that question. Where is those cars? Is it a personal property? I am asking you now. Answer me.
Well, they are supposed to pay for it at the end of their tenure. If they pay for it, then it becomes their own. But if they don't pay, then it remains the property of the National Assembly.
They still have mouth to tell us that somebody that served for 4 years that we buy, that you can pay for 100 and something million naira car. Whereas people, lecturers, for all the whole entire years, and all the police and securities, they have not even really end up to 100 or 200 million naira in all their whole livelihood. Is that what they're trying to tell me?
Comrade John Legend.
Somebody will have a car.
Like I said.
So wait, 4 years of service. Somebody will have a car of 130 million. Who will maintain that car from this account? And a professor can serve for years and he cannot end up to 200 million in the whole of his life. Who is fooling who there?
John Legend, we need to hear from others as well. All right. We really need to hear from others as well. Other people want to speak as well. Thank you so dearly for calling me up on matters. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. This is Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I'm your host and I'll be here up until 3 p.m. It is exactly 1:30 right here on Matters. Stay with me. The Matters continues. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to Matters. Are you there? Good afternoon and welcome to Matters.
Good afternoon. Yeah, it's Tony Chukwudi on the phone.
Anthony Chukwudi, thank you for calling. Where is your location, please?
I'm calling from UK.
I'm sorry, I did not get that.
I said I'm calling from UK.
All right, thank you so much for calling. You must be watching us on YouTube then. Please go right ahead and let's know what you think about this matter.
Yeah, there is something John Legend is saying right now. I know you are doing your work, or maybe you are trying to get more people to say something. Now, see, a car of 4 years, still what money? there are many of them in the 10th assembly that were in the 9th assembly. Those cars have been maintained by Toyota. They are in Abuja. They are not being maintained by any roadside mechanic. I can assure you that. That means at the end of 4 years, that car or that SUVs will still be in good order. At least 80% or 90% in good order. And then when you talk of cars, go and ask any car dealer. If you park it, then that's when the price depreciates. And then you check the maintenance, the mileage, or the kilometer. That's how the ones they are bringing from the Western world down or the Tokumbo. How many kilometers do they have? But they still cost millions. Who vetted the price? Who checked the worth of the cars when they finish their every 4 years? Nigerians don't know about it. So can they tell us the 9th assembly how much they bought the ones that were given to them, so that we know that how much the ones that left they are not in that 9th assembly, how much they paid for. Secondly, those cars, those in the 9th assembly got their own car for the 9th assembly. Now they are still in the 10th assembly. All of them are getting the same car again. And again, if that vehicle is for government, when they finish, they should leave it for the people coming in to use. That's the way things have been done.
So you don't agree? You don't agree with paying off the amount of the vehicle and then taking it away?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. It's bulletproof. Bulletproof doesn't expire. The proof there does not expire. And when they use it, if the other people are coming in, those that were in the 9th assembly should leave all the vehicle they use. And then those coming in the 10th assembly, the only thing they use, if that is the case, normally, if a president is coming in, they're supposed to demolish the building of the presidential villa and go and build another one. That is what it means. Because a new president is coming in. So they're supposed to leave it in the Western world where we live. They don't change those things like that unless the thing is already bad. And then they change it. Although, moreover, everybody they use their own car. So, and you are talking this, then they are going to use it to, I had the name, they will be going on, what do you call it, on the rough road to, and then, I forgot your name, Chimaya?
Yes, my name is Ijeoma Innocent.
Yeah, you are so innocent in your voice. So, the way, Chioma, can you tell me the office of the Senate or the House of Rep that is representing your senatorial zone or
my constituency? Okay, since they say that those vehicles are to reach the remote areas,
they don't go anywhere. I don't even know the office of the person, in the local government, the person that is represents. See, they should stop playing with Nigerians.
Okay.
As I am now, if I need something from my MP, I know where his office is. I go there and I knock, and the person, the staff there will tell me, oh, it's not, and I have to make an appointment to see him or her. How many Nigerians know the office of the person presenting them at that capital? No, or even the state. You see, let them stop all these things. Nigerians are suffering. People, I wanted to listen to Precious yesterday evening, but I didn't have the time. And I listened to the whole thing this morning on my way to, and then a woman was crying that the only thing that he has with him left, she has with him left, is 15 naira. A woman. A mother with one or two children, not a child or two, and then now what she has left in her pocket or bag is 15 naira, and people are moving about with a SUV of 150 or 160 million. That thing is 130 million. Although Nigeria will go with the figure they gave to them, it's more than that.
Okay,
and then coming to the to what they said about the Nine Post. The Nigerian Post, I don't know if you're talking about, I heard about it, I just want to tip it. That department supposed to in millions in Nigeria. If you know the work of the post office in the Western world, you find out in the Western world you can go to the post office and pay money in it to still go to your account in the bank. You just give them cash, the nearest post, you tell them you want to send it to the bank. They ask you which of your bank, you put your card in the machine there, they will just transfer the money, collect the money from you and transfer it to your bank. You don't need to go to bank. There are a lot of things they do. You can do ID card. There are many things. They make money, the post office. Why is it why is it that Nigerian Night Post is rather when you send something through the EMS in Nigeria, they open it and steal it. Even when you do insurance from the West here, they will tell you that the whole thing was stolen in Nigeria there. I sent from here and I do insurance and still you find out sometimes that thing is being opened. So why can't they change things? Well, let the masses are suffering. The masses are suffering. The Nigerians are suffering. Even we that are in the Western world, you keep on sending money, and that money that you are sending does not even do anything.
All right. Anthony Chukudi, I would love to appreciate you so much for your call. Thank you so much for calling in on Matters this afternoon. Keep listening. The conversation continues on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent and the show is Matters. I'm sitting in for Jude Ikami Jude, who is on leave at the moment, but he'll be joining you sooner than you expect. All right, I will be taking some messages from our YouTube platforms. In case you don't know it, we are on YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Yes, Voice of the People 90.3 FM on YouTube. We're live right now. Go on there, subscribe and join the conversation. So I will be taking comments and I will be starting off with our YouTube audience. Okay, we have a comment on YouTube and this comment is coming from Benjamin Igbokwe. Benjamin Igbokwe says, upon the numerous appointments that has been made and that will still be made, we have not seen any improvement in the condition of Nigerians. Ejima for real says, I'm not saying anything on Nigerian issues. I am tired. Okay, Ejima. Thank you for your comment. You've actually said something. Okay, thank you for your comment. Hi, Chioma. This is from WhatsApp. Until we reduce the cost of governance drastically, reduce corruption to the barest minimum, and strengthen our institutions, Nigeria will not, move forward. Remy from Akoka. Thank you, Remy, for your opinion on today's Matters. Good afternoon and welcome to Matters on VOP 90.3 FM.
Hello, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Matters. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Comrade Iroko from Ijigbo.
Comrade Iroko from Ijigbo. Welcome, Comrade Iroko. Yes, I would like you to talk about this Matters. PDP says, Nigerians, don't worry. We are coming to rescue you.
Okay. Okay, this is matter the most. That is why we want to contribute to Nigerian matter. That is the reason why we are at the matter at the VOP Nigeria, the voice of Nigeria. So let us contribute to the Nigerian matter because I'm a Nigerian as well. Atiku has right to say what he has to say to the Nigerians. But it now depends on the intellectual and intelligent Nigeria to experience from what he's saying and what people experience about his race. Let me go this way. Sama, the guest, the presenter, and all the listeners, take this order. Honestly, I can tell you today that manifesto is different from what anybody can do. In political manifesto, I can tell you what I cannot do for people to like me or for me to use my word to convince people. But it depends on how people will view you. Many people may not know you, but the people that know you may be able to view you from what you are saying. Honestly, I am saying this because you said that people say something, but people that know him with what he can do or what he is trying to convince people about, they will tell you when they try to come in to this platform. You see what is happening in this Nigeria? It is the tolerance from the masses to the government. Masses are the tolerance to this nonsense that is happening to all masses, to us in this Nigeria. How many are they? Honestly, let me tell you what is in my mind. The legal practitioners, all the lawyers, all the learned people that are in this country, they are supposed to stand up for Nigerians' rescue by now, because we have many ignorance in this country. Some people are not listening to it now. It may be the few people that are listening to this station that have been fortunate to listen to what we are saying. Some people might not know. But the people that are learned, that know what is happening in the country, they are supposed to, it's like some lawyers that have bed box in their jacket and they are calling themselves lawyers. I can't understand what we are experiencing in this country. The country said they are very learned. You go to school, you have your certificate, you use service. You have all what it takes before you acquire your result. And someone is using an ignorant intelligence to be supersede your intelligence by somebody that did not have credibility result. Is overshadowing you that you have. In fact, you go to school. Almost some people have. In fact, they descend so low. Honestly, masses needs to be team up to fight for this order. If NLC cannot fight for masses, okay, who is coming to rescue the masses now? Now, everybody are shouting.
So you don't believe that this thing PDP is saying, you don't believe them?
Who is Atiku now? Who is Atiku? Atiku should, you see, inside this race now, the only person I can say he has little integrity is Peter Obi. But somebody say on the platform this morning that what Peter Obi, what Tinubu is doing is the same thing as Peter Obi will do. That's why I said it before my talk, that for manifesto, I can tell you what I cannot do for me to convince you from my words. But it depends on what I know that I can do. That is the confusion of the politics. Honestly, see, WAEC is 40,000 now, 40K. I've never had it in my life. WAEC, and I will be the one. They pursue my children back from school today because of the WAEC and the school fees. So I will now be ashamed to be able to pay the money at the end of the day. Okay, why don't I go and forge the result for her now? So why am I troubling myself because of saying she wants to? She should go and be learning hairdresser. I'll be carpenter. Oh, mommy, I will talk later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, comrade. It's Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Thankfully and happily for you and I, CP Chooks who just came into the studio, and I am so happy to see him, and I'm sure you'll be very happy to hear from him as well. Matters here on Voice of the People 9.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent, and we'll be discussing these matters up until 3 p.m. CP Chooks, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. How was your flight? Because I know in fact, you crossed seas and oceans to be here with us today. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Thank you too.
Thank you so dearly. So, we are discussing PDP's promise to Nigerians. The National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, while lambasting President Tinubu's government, saying that they push Nigerians into extreme poverty because inflation is at 26.72% right now, according to figures released by the National Bureau of Statistics. And he said a lot of things, and he went on to say that Nigerians enjoyed better under PDP. Dollar was 180 naira to a dollar. Right now is over 1,000 naira to a dollar. In fact, a 50 kg bag of rice, no matter the PDP government, that 50 kg bag of rice, when they passed 8,000. But now it's over 50,000. Minimum wage is not increasing. And they say this is an APC thing. But then he said, Nigerians, do not despair. Help is coming. And that's what we've been talking about. I'd like you to quickly, talk about that before we go on to the next matter.
Well, what the man said happens to be the truth. It is exactly what we experienced within 1999 to 2015. But unfortunately, the government entered into the hands of people who I strongly believe know little or nothing about economic management. And that was what descended the economy to the extent that dollar that was 180 naira in 2015 went as bad as over 1,000 naira to a dollar today. Having said that, the man is only being political by saying that they will change the tide. How are they going to do it? To reverse the value to go back to 185? That is preposterous. It is not visible.
So you don't see that happening. There's no 360-degree turn.
No. It can't be possible. When you put into consideration the macro economic factors, variables, and principles, it cannot work. It cannot. The only thing is that whoever manages the economy, that's why I've been one of the strong advocates that we strengthen whichever economy team that the government should put in place. That we look for seasoned hands, people like Okonjo-Iweala, who had done it before, bring in people like Olusegun Aganga, Adeosun, the former lady who was
Finance Minister
Kemi Adeosun. Then get in people like Soludo, even though he's the governor in Anambra, he can still double to be member of the economic team. Get SLS, the former Emir of Kano, who happens to have been governor of Central
CBN
Bank.
one time.
And then some other young, sound financial experts. They're all over the world. We can get them, who are Nigerians, to come and get all hands on deck. Then we will now know that we are starting. That should be the starting point if we want to make anything meaningful. Then secondly, we should think in the line of production. This conspicuous consumption is grossly affecting the economy and the situation we now find ourselves. If we can think of providing adequate security, especially for people that are in agriculture, so that at the end of the day, we'll be able to feed ourselves, have enough for reserve, and then export some to earn foreign exchange. That's the second strategy to use. Then thirdly, the cost of governance is outrageous. I don't see what we are doing with about 40-something ministers. It's bogus under this situation we find ourselves. If it is possible, they should cut them down by 50%, half. And they should revisit Oresanya's recommendation for pruning ministries, departments, and agencies. Taking cognizance of the realities, economic realities of the time. That's another area we will focus on. Then we have to go further and be sure we checkmate oil theft. If whatever production level we are operating at be given to us by OPEC quota, if we are to do 1.8 million barrels a day, we make sure we achieve that performance. And once we are doing that, we are earning so much in terms of foreign exchange. Fifthly, we still need to tighten the noose and all the loopholes in taxes. We can, because of the harsh realities of the time, some people can be exempted from paying taxes. People who earn possibly less than 200,000 a month down.
Totally exempted.
They can be exempted. It will still not affect. Then they will now target the high income earners and do appropriate taxing and be sure that all those loopholes are blocked. What we are going to realize from that will be very, very substantial.
Okay.
And a lot of other things. As time goes on, I'll still be bringing them out one after the other.
All right, then. You are listening to Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I'm your host, and my guest is the erudite CP Chuks Ewanwo. Just before we proceed to the next matter, let's take some messages from our WhatsApp and YouTube platforms. On WhatsApp, I have Laz Chikwendo who says, Leaders do not look backwards to condemn what has already been done. They look forward to create a better future for their governance. But for this government, it is the other way around. I also have here, you didn't tell me your name. Please always add your name, okay, when you want to send the message. I would appreciate that so much, so we know who we're hearing from and also your location as well. You said, good day, Chioma. Oh, Comrade Peterson. All right then. You say Nigerians are in a pot of soup. Hunger everywhere. Bag of rice above 50k. And people are buying SUV costing about 130 million. This is why they don't want another person, because he will be. This is why they don't want Obi, because he'll be the last person to tolerate this. Almighty God, please touch the Supreme Court judges. Okay. I also have here, good afternoon, Chioma. It is not the removal of subsidy that matters, but the style of removal. There were no arrangements aside to cushion the effect of removal of subsidy. How can you remove subsidy without consulting with all the relevant stakeholders? And just by reading inauguration speech, subsidy was removed. I am definitely that if it were PDP or Labour Party, they would have done otherwise, and we would not have been here. How long are we going to continue with trial and error? The Bible says when the righteous rule, the people enjoy. God is watching both the righteous and the unrighteous. Okay, thank you for the reminder, but do add your name to your message. All right, I have here Chinedu from Badagry. He says the 3 tiers of government seem to be in deep sleep. The securities seem to be docile. No seriousness to listen to public cries. Sharing palliatives is not the answer. Immediate solution is needed now. Open the borders for food to come in. That was from Chinedu from Badagry. I also have here Comrade Godfrey from Surulere. He said, good afternoon, Chioma. Talking about borrowing by this government. Why are you people in the press not able to put things in clear terms for the people to make proper judgment on issues we have been accused? In analyzing the worrisome subject of external borrowing, I think you should do well to try to make reference to the promise of this same government that has continued to further borrow against their earlier stance not to borrow again as a result of the savings from the subsidy removed. And just right now, we have Olushoga Ajayi from Odonla Ikorodu, a group of people who choose to buy 57.6 billion naira cruisers in a country that survives on borrowing are simply saying, if una won't die, make una die. And the Nigerians are not finding things funny right now, but there may be a ray of hope in Abia State, where Governor Alex Oti has declined and said he will not receive salary for the next 4 years. CP, is this a welcome development?
It's a good one. It's trying to set the pace, and I hope others will emulate that wonderful gesture.
Do we expect them to do?
Sorry?
Do we expect them to, though?
Well, what do we say? It's not compelling. It's not compulsory for them to follow suit. But if they are touched, by compassion or on basis of sympathy, they can still do that. But the truth of the matter is, even if they decide not to take salary for the 4 years, as Nigerians, typical Nigerian factor will set in, whereby they will start inflating contracts. That is their usual practice. They will be padding the disbursement of funds in allocating to the key sectors and through the back door.
Permits me to interject, CP, but even as they're collecting salary, can't they still do that?
They do. They do. That's more or less, do I call it eye service? It's eye service
on the part of the Abia State governor.
Well, I don't want to use his own case. I say maybe those who may follow suit. Okay. Yes, because the Abia governor, within the short while, has proven that he's out to do some good infrastructural development and improved on the economy of Abia State. We've been witnessing that, the way all the roads that had not been constructed in the past 24 years, within 6 months, are already, usable and passable. And you can imagine mobilizing Julius Berger down to Abia State. We are just witnessing that. So that means the man is working. So for him to even say this is to make people to see the dignity in service and integrity in the way the performance of those positions of responsibilities are expected to be, showcased, so that some others who are upcoming leaders will know that it is no longer business as usual, that something different and something very, very positive is now on the horizon.
Right then. So it is a welcome development after all.
It is.
If you were going to say, CP, which state governors are you expecting to follow this trend?
Well, Mba from Enugu, even though his status is still controversial concerning the NYSC discharge certificate, he seems to be doing something reasonable.
Okay.
From the bits we are getting from that flank, it's like he's beginning to do roads as well as water supply, which has been the headache for the entire state, especially the Enugu metropolitan. It's a very big embarrassing thing that the last regime, on one occasion I had cause to see the governor of Enugu State. I went to government house and I saw them carrying tankers going as far as the place they call 9th Mile, in another local government, Udi local government, to go and get water. And be
for the government lodge?
For the government house. For the governor's lodge and office.
So you would think someone who couldn't even get water for himself, for his own lodge,
exactly.
How is he going to get it for the people?
For the people, But that was the first thing Mba did. He had to go and reactivate and revitalize the place they call Ajali water intake, somewhere between Oji River and Udi. He has revamped the place, and they are test running. From what I'm hearing, water is now flowing in trickles in some areas in Enugu, and by the time they get to their optimum, the thing will be much more better than what people are seeing now. And well, I am gradually taking time to look at the activities of the other governors, and I'm sure as time goes on, I'll be able to bring them out one after the other.
Right.
I will focus on them and x-ray them. Because these days nothing is hidden. If you are performing, there is no way
the people can see it.
Exactly.
All right then. Thank you, CP. It is exactly 2 p.m. right here on Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm your host. My name is Ijeoma Egwuatu, and my guest is CP Chooks. I want to take some messages from YouTube and WhatsApp, and then we proceed. Oluwafemi Olowo Dasha says this PDP statement is giving Nigerians hope. 58 billion on SUVs. And then Obi12 says in Zambia, the Zambian president is using the old vehicle of the former president. On WhatsApp, I have Saeed Barua from Okeafa. He says they are totally disconnected from the reality of what Nigerians are going through by buying SUVs in the midst of hunger. As for what PDP said, they are birds of the same feather. Okay. This is what the people think. The people think, you cannot live in the same glass house with somebody else and try to throw stones at the other person. You will just crack the house and everything will fall. But then let's talk about the former minister of aviation. I'm talking about Osita Chidoka. He has raised concerns about how the new CBN governor and his deputies were brought into office. And he said in his words, and I quote, "The growing lawlessness that the government is deploying to achieve its objectives will deepen the damage done by the immediate past administration of Muhammadu Buhari." Now, he wrote this in an open letter to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Federation, Lateef Fagbemi. He advised the minister to take a second look at removing from office persons who ought to enjoy independence and require Senate approval before removal from office. He also wondered why the president appointed 4 deputy governors at once, asking if the previous deputy governors resigned, just like Godwin Emefiele, the former governor of the central bank. Would you say that the ex-aviation minister, Osita Chidoka, has a point here? Because he's talking about how the way this current administration is going and the methods they're deploying to achieve their objectives will deepen the damage that the immediate past administration did, knowing that the last administration was APC. A caller called earlier and said, oh, it's been over 100 days of Tinubu administration and we didn't see anything. And critics have said, but the past 8 years, it was APC. And then you say, oh, somebody cannot build on nothing. And you have someone coming from the same APC. Does Chidoka have a point here?
Chief Osita Chidoka is absolutely correct in what he has said. Because before you can appoint both the governor and the deputies of central bank, there is what they call the Central Bank Act. It's a law that provides on the processes of actualizing that. So anything that is short of following the process, like he asked a question, that did those 4 deputy governors resign, and on what basis were they just replaced? He asked a very key question, and I believe strongly too that what he has said is very, very correct. And this points in the direction that it seems those in government are still doing that part of impunity. Because when you don't follow the due processes to do the needful, or they follow the provisions to put people in various offices, then that is what they call gross insensitivity and impunity. That is what it means. That means you, as the chief executive doing that, believes that you are above the law. And that's why it's good he had written to the Minister for Justice and the Attorney General to draw his attention to it, because he's the chief law officer of the Federation. Such aberrations should not be allowed to continue. Whether it is the legislature or the executive is straying, it is perfectly in order to draw their attention to it, so that we need to continue to do the right thing. So on that basis, I don't fault the position of Osita Chidoka in any way. He has said it the way it should be.
All right. He spoke about lawlessness, and recently, human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, came out to say that the appointment of EFCC and ICPC chairman from the same region, from the same zone in Nigeria, is unlawful. Is this also part of the lawlessness that Chidoka is talking about?
Exactly. It is part of it. Because there has been so much controversy, especially touching on that of the EFCC. If you look at the acts that provided for EFCC in 2003, 2004, you come to find out that there are conditions precedent listed that has to be religiously followed before somebody will be appointed as chairman of EFCC. And if you look at them one after the other, they are just plain and straightforward. They said, 1, the person must have been or must have attained the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police or its equivalent, either serving or retired. It's equivalent in other services, possibly the DSS, the NIA, the DIA. Now, you look at the man they have just appointed, you ask yourself the question, did he fulfill those preconditions? And there are a lot of other elements that were highlighted there. The person must have been a law enforcement agent who would have spent, I think, not less than 15 years
in law enforcement.
So a situation, you bring somebody who may have either not a trained law enforcement officer. For the fact that he's a legal practitioner is not enough. It is not the criteria. for the fact that he had worked briefly on ad hoc basis, maybe as either chief of staff or would have done one or two assignments with EFCC for like few months or few years.
That is not enough.
That does not qualify him to be appointed as a chair. That's the argument that has been,
made.
Yes, that has been raising its head from all the corners. So, well, let's see how it will play out, because if I were the man, I would have advised myself and look for a way to throw in the towel.
Someone who was appointed, on his own, and would he really do that though? Would he really do that?
Well, the Nigerian system or the Nigerian factor. He didn't just suddenly land there. There must have been a lot of underground work, what you call lobbying and what you call man no man, and so on and so forth, would have been, must have outplayed itself to position the man in that place. But the hues and cries has been on the high side. Let me be frank with you. That's why I say, if I were in his shoes, that's why we are different. I would not want myself to be
associated with such controversy.
Subject of this type of controversy. And it's not even a constructive one. It is a very negative and critical, criticism. And it goes a long way, It's really unfortunate.
Is that to say that there are other different areas where he could have been suitable for? There are other appointments he could have been suitable for?
Possibly, but not a place like the EFCC.
All right. Another issue that has been raised recently is that of the 24-year-old who was appointed as chairman of FEMA, the Federal Roads Management Agency. Now, he's supposedly the son of a PDP chieftain and graduated.
Is it PDP or APC?
It says he's the son of a PDP chieftain.
Okay. The father was in Tet Fund also.
And contested the 2003 and 2007 governorship elections in Borno State. Now, this is where what you spoke about lobbying may come in. What does a 24-year-old fresh graduate know, even if he graduated with the first class from a UK university, to get into such a position? Is it that there is no one else with experience who could have done this better?
That is that same Nigerian factor we are talking about. And in the case of that young man, I really have sympathy for him. Sympathy in the sense that the managing director, that is of FEMA, that is going to work under him, is somebody that has had over 30 years experience in engineering.
And that's the person who's supposed to put him through and call him boss.
Exactly.
So you feel that person will not be happy about it?
Well, I'm coming to that. What I'm trying to say in essence is that one schooled in University of Nigeria, Nsukka, had his Bachelor of Engineering, has his Masters in Engineering, has his PhD in engineering, in civil and other specific areas, concrete technology, highways, this and that, the boy, he graduated ever before this boy was born. He graduated in Nsukka in 1985, did his youth service in 1986. So we are talking of getting close to 40 years of graduation. And this boy is just 24, 25 years old. So you can see the gap. That is one. The mistake, I don't want to call it mistake, the misadvice that would have occasioned the appointment is such that if they had wanted to bring in somebody, they would have brought somebody that is experienced, aged. Even if the person is not an engineer, they can make him a nominal chairman who will only sit there, and be advised on what to do. He will only be attending meetings. We will know that there is no core professional there. But for you to bring, I don't want to call the boy a novice, having been certificated with first class in engineering, but the experience is not there. And look at the caliber or the profile of the managing director that is going to that will be answerable to him. It is incongruent and inappropriate to do that type of appointment vis-a-vis the background and the experience and the qualification of some other directors, as well as the managing director of FEMA. So we are in a democracy where people should come up with criticisms and comments and observation and all that. And I believe they have to be very constructive in such criticisms. At the same time, I expect the government to also listen to the critics and take them in good faith and make amends where they become very, very necessary.
All right, then make amends when they become necessary. Nigerians have been talking about this a lot, and many are not happy about it. Now, this young man will have to work with the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, who, when he first resumed, he had what you could call a brawl or an altercation or a face-off with workers in the ministry, where they were locking each other up inside and outside, and there was protest and all of that. Can they really work together? The young and the old, or the young and the old and the older.
You see, the thing is, there's a lot going on in that Ministry of Works. First and foremost, with due respect to Dave Umahi, he's an engineer, but it seems he needs to go back and dust his books on engineering, revisit them. The type of engineering concepts he's coming up with, honestly, seems to be obsolete. You know, the way the society is evolving is going digital, and people are embracing the concept of globalization and very up-to-date principles. I pity him when I listen to some of his criticisms and approach to improve on the infrastructure. I am not an engineer, but I follow a lot of things closely, you know, to get details on them. How can you say that you will want to use concrete base to do virtually all the roads just because they last for 50 years if you do them with concrete?
What's the downside to that?
I'm coming. And that if you do the laterite if you do the laterite with asphalt, it will take barely 25 years. Now, number one, if you look at the cost of concrete, it is very, very expensive. Secondly, where are you going to, what will you do with the laterite? That is, when you're doing the earthwork for highways, the laterite in some cases are already there because they do what they call scraping, you know, earthwork, scrape the thing and begin to impact soil to, you know, laterite, or whether it is a sandy area. So you look at, number one, the soil condition, the environmental condition, the water condition for the area. In most cases, if you're doing concrete roads, they do what they call mesh underneath, like Julius Berger did for Dangote on Apapa Oshodi Express. And secondly, part of the earthwork will be more of white sand, that is sandy soil. There are some places for you to get the sand to do on an express road, assuming you're doing maybe Shagamu Bini Express and you're taking them in segments, in sections. Maybe you do Shagamu Ijebu-Ode first phase, Ijebu-Ode Ore second. If you're doing concrete, you need white sand, you know, to do much of those foundations. And in some cases, you may be going for the white sand, depending on the quantity you have to use, up to 100 or 200 kilometers to get there. So that is why I say, if you are doing those roads, I was listening to the man at a point, I say, this man seems to have forgotten his engineering principles. He needs to go back. You know, that's why I say with due respect, I'm not trying to run him down. Let him visit. Even as a minister, he's very busy. He's having meetings with contractors and government people and so on and so forth. He has PAs, he has other technical assistants, he has pupils engineers and residents. He can direct them to go and research on the latest, development and what is prevailing in other climes presently, so that we will apply it to our road infrastructure. And he will not need to be coming out to say so much, because when he's saying, he's contradicting himself, one, and two, it seems some other people will be saying, especially the people in the engineering field. I'm talking of the people in Korean, the Nigerian Society of Engineers and so on and so forth, who have been updating themselves. They'll be wondering, are you sure this one is still part of us? Because his arguments seems not to be in tandem with the current realities.
So the question is, do you see him, his policies or his logic, will it be at part loggerheads with what this young man will bring to the table?
There will still be that conflict because the young man is of the new generation of engineers. And I'm sure his brain is still hot, having made first class in civil engineering and structures. For Dave Omahi, he has been in politics in the past 24 years. And politicians will not have time to go and revisit details, of what is involved in their various... he has not been practicing engineering. So whatever he's saying is based on rudimentary facts or knowledge he had, earlier on, having been pronounced as an engineer. And that is why you find out that the Nigerian Society of Engineers and Korean and all those people, apart from certificating you, they expect you from time to time to attend trainings, courses, seminars, and all that, to update yourself, update your knowledge, because it's not the way they used to do it before. That is what is ongoing now.
So there's been improvements.
Of course, because if you try to do comparative analysis, look at the type of engineering that is coming out of the Asian nations. I'm making reference to India, to China, to Indonesia, and so on and so forth. If you follow the extent of infrastructure, the road network, and the bridges they are doing, believe you me, you'll be marveled. I'm not talking of the West now. I'm not talking of America and all that. And one particular one that gave me so much surprise is one bridge that was done in China. The bridge is almost 50 kilometers across the sea. They've never had that feat of engineering in the whole world. And if you look at the costs, you'll be wondering. You'll be asking yourself, did they do this by direct labor? You come to find out that the people are doing things with sincerity of purpose. They are doing them with integrity. And for you to try corruption in a place like India, then you go and do your requiem to meet your creator, because there's no space for that. That is why people will do it the way it is. And there's no shortcuts. There's no compromise. And they have people who are there doing research every day. People are in the lab. People are in the libraries by way of being on the internet, updating themselves with the basic principles to do constructions, whether we are talking of buildings or whether we are talking of bridges and roads and so on and so forth. That is why when you see some of the designs, if you see the way they do dual carriageways, the way they do interchange, the way they do bridges, what we call flyover and so on and so forth, you'll be wondering, how did they get to where they are today? It is commitment, it is sincerity of purpose, it is dedication, it is patriotism, it is being altruistic. They are not thinking of what I will loot and how I'll go to Swiss bank and go and pack money, or how I'll go to New York or go to California to go and buy houses, and how they will pack their families to go and keep them over there. They don't do so. You can't try it in China. Even in India, Russia, there is no space for that. And these are the places I think the leadership should think along emulating. I'm talking of reorientation for the future leadership. Because what we have now is a total washout.
Okay.
Complete write-off.
Let's talk about Senate President Akpabio, who has been accused of being the brain behind the sack of the senator representing Adamawa North, Elisha Ishak Abu. You recall that this particular man has been enmeshed in a controversy a few years back, but that is not the point. This same person said that the Senate president is the mastermind, and in fact that more people, 5 more senators, including former Senate Chief Whip Orji Uzor-Kalu, will also go. Although this has been denied by the spokesman for the Senate president. Apparently something just happened right about now, less than an hour ago. The Senate president has called for an emergency closed door session of the Senate during plenary today. Now, this followed a walk out of the chambers by the chief whip of the Senate, Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume, after Senate President Godswill Akpabio ruled him out of order. Ndume had cited Order 54 of the Senate Standing Orders and raised a point of order. The thing, as it is now, the Senate are in a closed door session because the chief whip has walked out. Now, you recall that recently, this same Senator Ali Ndume and another senator accused Senate President Akpabio of doing things on his own. They openly accused him of not giving senators adequate opportunity to interrogate and scrutinize bills, especially money bills. They warned him that history would judge him if he continues this way. They allege that he keeps approving executive requests and passing important legislations hastily without involving them. Now a walkout has been staged. What can you say about Akpabio's leadership style?
Akpabio, from the time he was governor of Akwa Ibom State, he has his good sides and then have his sore sides. Granted that they called him uncommon transformation or uncommon transformational governor of Akwa Ibom State. He did so many roads. He did a lot of infrastructure while he was governor in Akwa Ibom State. And he was lucky. It was in his own time and turn that so much money came into the coffers of Akwa Ibom when they had a judgment in their favor at the Supreme Court. And but on the source side, these allegations against him was repeating itself while he was governor in Akwa Ibom State. And the same happened thereafter when when he left office in 2015, he first became senator for Akwa Ibom Northeast Senatorial District, which is Ikotekpeni, where he comes from. And he wasn't very controversial because he was a first timer in the National Assembly. Then when he now left the PDP, because he came on the platform of the PDP and went to APC, they made sure they trounced him out of the place and brought in Senator Chris Ekpenyo, who happens to be the former deputy governor under Obong Atta. As a way to compensate him, they made him the chairman of NDDC. Sorry, minister for the then NDDC, because now we don't seem to have a ministry anymore for NDDC. The same controversies were following him throughout the 4 years he was there. In fact, to the extent that the chairman of NDDC, whether chairman, substantive or acting, was alleging the crass impunity on when he will give you instruction to do so, and so, and that if you fail to do it, then consider it that you're already fired. Such allegations came up. And it's like he's very, very overbearing. And he's no longer a young man. This exuberance could be tolerated for people who are in their 30s and 40s. He will soon be, he should be 60, if I'm not mistaken, or very close to that. And I have expected him with experience and track record to begin to approach issues very maturely and objectively. Because like they are alleging or raising now that history and posterity will judge him for the way and manner he is passing the bills now. So I will be one of those that will advocate, but whatever we say may not even make meaning to him. It may not even get to him. He should soft pedal and do the right thing. There are procedures, just like Senator Ndume raised. If there are orders of the National Assembly, it has to be respected as a matter of procedure. Because that's the way to deepen the democracy itself in one side and to also strengthen what is going on in the National Assembly. Because the legislature is not just any other, it's not an appendage of the executive. There are 3 legs of governance. We have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary, who should be an arbiter in the event of any excesses on either of the 2 sides. So let Senator Akpabio, even before they went on recess, there has been a lot of darts being thrown at him by the members of the National Assembly. It's not sending...
Is that to say there is actually there's an ounce of truth in this, what we could call rumors and accusations and allegations?
That's the direction I'm going. There's no smoke without fire.
Is that to say he's in one way or the other? I'll use the word bullying his people.
I would not want to use the word bullying. I don't want to use the word bullying, but I think the appropriate description should be that he is gradually becoming insensitive to what is provided as a matter of procedure and what is expected of him and other principal officers in the National Assembly.
All right then. You're still listening to Matters right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent. I'm your host today, and I'm sitting in for Jude, who is not available right now. He is on leave, but will be with you sooner than you expect. My guest is CP Chuks Enwanwu, and we have been talking about a plethora of matters that affects us as Nigerians. Still on the Senate president. What can be done? How do you check a Senate president who many critics have called a rubber stamp Senate?
In the past, especially during Obasanjo's time, we had about 5 Senate presidents within 8 years. We had, what's the name? The first one, Evans, they just used one small excuse. They say he had identity issue. That some were presenting him as a van. The other one is presenting him as a van.
So it was the S. What's the problem?
They removed him. They brought Okadibo, Chuba. Chuba, before he knew it, they threw him out. They now brought in Anyim, Pius Anyim. That one stayed. By the time Obasanjo was going for second term, they didn't even give space for him to find himself back to the National Assembly. They now brought Adolphus Nwabara. Adolphus came in. Before they knew it, he was out. And the last man, Nnamani, what's his name again? Not Chimaroke. The other, Ken and Nnamani, came. 5 Senate presidents in 8 years. I think that's enough signal
to say that if the Senate wants to, they can impeach or remove him for non-performance.
Of course. The signs are there. They are gradually warning him. And when it happens, nobody is going to save him. He will come back and become a floor member like others. And that means all the efforts he had put in place with some other people that supported him will just be a waste.
All right. Before Akpabio became the Senate president, he was in a tussle with others. Former Deputy Senate President Idris Wase, former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari, they disagreed with the APC's position, and they opted that they want to vie for this position with Akpabio at that time. But Akpabio later defeated Yari in a very keenly contested election held on June 13. Now, the same people that put him there, you're saying they have the right, they have the capacity to remove him as well. But with the makeup of the current Senate, can they do that?
I think part of the consideration that favored Akpabio is that in as much as the APC is not talking anything about zoning, they looked at the legislature, the executive, the judiciary. They felt that the president is from the southwest, the vice president is from the northeast. Then the third position again, Senate president, if you take it to northwest, it will look as if the south and the southeast is not even
being marginalized.
Yes, it's not in the picture. So that was why the party leaders looked at it and decided to take it to south. That was how the man.
So this was not a case of someone who could perform. It was a case of we want to be politically correct or just obey federal character.
Political balancing, zoning the thing. They didn't come outright to say that, but many of us and the political pundits who were following trends knew that was exactly what happened.
If Akpabio goes, who is a better fit that will not still be rubber stamp?
Well, it depends on them. It depends on one. There are a lot of factors will come in. First, it will be a party decision. And secondly, the president will obviously want somebody that will not be, at cross purpose or loggerheads with him. Somebody that will be matured and will be able to conduct the affairs of the National Assembly as a chairman of the National Assembly in such a way that they will all be on the same page. It wouldn't be space for continuous confrontation and arguments and all that brick-bracks and all that. So it is still very early to begin to point at who may likely be the replacement in the event of his being removed from office. But the thing is this, the signs are like early morning or early warning signs for him to amend his ways. Let us hope that there are those who are there to advise him.
All right. You spoke about Obasanjo's tenure and having 5 different Senate presidents.
Yes.
Then does this cement what the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP said, Debo Olugunagba, that this is an APC thing, and that if it was the PDP that was in power, it will not be like this. He spoke about when PDP was in power that the economy was better managed, inflation was within single digits, exchange rate of naira to dollar was much better than it was now. The price of food was much better then than it was now. Is that to say that if really it was the PDP, it would not be like this? We're talking on Nigerians don't despair. Help is coming. Would it have been different if it was the PDP?
You see, the times are different. That time, we had a robust economy. Robust in the sense that better economic managers like Okonjo-Iweala and co. Made sure they were giving advice to Obasanjo, who himself has never been a financial expert. And Obasanjo was listening to them and taking their advice. And that was why, by the time he left in 2007, May 29th, he was able to leave over $60 billion in our foreign reserve. And that was why in 2008, when there was global economic meltdown, that reserve was enough stability to keep the nation going without us going through the mess we now find ourselves.
That's going the route of borrowing.
They didn't even borrow what? When do you have sufficient reserve?
Now, I'm talking about now.
No, I'm trying to do a bit of comparative analysis. Now, it was like that because we had a very prudent person in the person of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, the late president. And let me be frank with you. As at that time, between 2008, 2009, 2010, up to 2012, up to 2011, the value of naira to dollar was oscillating between 118 to 120, 122 naira to a dollar. So you can see the economy was buoyant. It was robust. So the issue of double-digit inflation wouldn't have arisen. Now, the managers that came between 2015 and 2023, I wouldn't want to use the word that they were reckless managers. But 2 things would have played out. 1, it's either they are inexperienced or they were not interested in
improvement,
in growth of the economy. They were only interested in what they are going to line their pockets with. And that was why it was an era of money laundering at its peak, round tripping, rent seeking, and all sorts of foreign exchange malpractices under the sun was going on. And there were no controls. Nobody was sanctioned. People were not fingered out. And there were no checks and balances. To the extent that till date, nobody has come out to tell us that this is what we have in our foreign reserve. It's only speculation that we've been seeing, if not Goldman Sachs revelations that we are seeing and JP Morgan, we would have been, I mean, they are the ones that gave us signs that all is not well. So even if you bring PDP today, there is no magic for them to do a 360-degree turnaround. It is only those areas I was hammering, for us to go into production, agriculture, revitalize the industries, and so on and so forth. Checkmate totally oil theft, cut cost of governance, all these billions they want to use in buying Toyota Land Cruiser Jeeps for members of the National Assembly. We should ditch, we should, if it is possible, they should not allow that to fly. They can go to a nursing or any of those local manufacturing plants and buy made in Nigeria vehicles.
To pump back into the economy.
Exactly. Because that's the only way you can reflate the economy. And another concern I have is this 43 items or so that they lifted the ban by the CBN and all that. My worry in that decision is that we're already towing the parts of the IMF conditionalities, which expects you to liberalize the trade. And once you do that, there's a danger. Virtually all the local industries are now exposed to danger of extinction because I find it difficult for them to cope with all sorts of goods they've listed to flood the market. There are discordant tunes. I didn't expect that now, but it seems that they are doing that so that IMF can come in and see how they will help us to turn around the economy. Maybe by way of even giving us further loans. And possibly, too, they may even be, sympathetic to the extent of writing off some of those debts that the country is owing.
All right. You have been listening to Matters right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent and my guest is CP Chooks. And thank you so much for calling. Thank you for staying with us. CP, we need to go. I want to say thank you so much. But I also want to have your final words and everything we've discussed from the issue of FEMA, the Ministry of Works, Akpabio, to the issue of the PDP saying if we were the ones there, it will not be like this. I want to spotlight also something that someone just sent on WhatsApp saying Ndume is staging a walkout. If you investigate the bone of contention now, you find out that they are only fighting for their primordial interests and not the interests of the generality of the masses.
No, but that last statement speaks volume because the way they are running the affairs of the government is showing us that the interest of the masses seems not to be reckoned with. Otherwise, one or two people had asked me in the past that all this analysis people are making in the radio makes a lot of sense. But will the government listen to it? Do they even have people that will monitor what you're saying and use it as a template to guide them to do the needful? The answer seems to be neither here nor there. So it does not stop us as contributing our own bit to the voice of the people by pointing out areas that has to be attended to. I think one day those messages, whether they like it or not, will be on the table of the president. And if they take to heart most of those suggestions coming from people who are calling and sending messages and from the analysis we are doing here, I think we'll go a step forward. It will help to improve things in our economy and the polity.
All right, then let us hope that they listen and do what is right for the people and for Nigerians. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I want to say thank you so much for giving me a listening ear. Thank you for tuning in. To everyone who called in, who was on the show with me before CP came in, thank you so dearly. We try our best to feel the pulse of the nation and feed it to, from the governed to the government. Thank you so much. This has been Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. Let us do this again tomorrow. CP, thank you so dearly. Thank you for coming again. I can't wait to have you again. And I'm sure the people love to listen to you as well. Don't forget that you can find us on YouTube at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We have so many people watching on YouTube as well. You could join the conversation on YouTube. I'll take your comment from YouTube as well. But yes, in case you want to see the faces behind the voices, yes, you can see that on YouTube. Thank you so dearly. Let's do this again tomorrow. There are always matters to discuss. We talk about this matter so the government can feel the pulse of the governed. Like I said, my name is Ijeoma Innocent. Have a wonderful afternoon. We'll do this again tomorrow.
Welcome to the best exclusive radio station, VOD 90.3, bringing you the best mix of the best music. 90.3 FM, Lagos. Voice of the people, find your brand, find your voice.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV, show up, speak up.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop-off from the Lagos airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort. The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream, delight in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, Festac Town, 28 at Denira Ogunsanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and cold berry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV